Hey everyone! Today we're going to be taking a look at the album art for my upcoming album, Soul Trading. The album releases on all digital platforms on December 1st, and you can pre-order it from the link down below in the description. I originally composed and recorded the music of this album for a play that was put on earlier this year. The play, also called Soul Trading, is written by Kate Walder, and it's about a group of children and their learning bots. The learning bots help the children in all aspects of their life. They help them get ready for school, get ready for bed, and they also help the children learning while they're at school, hence the name Learning Bots. So this relationship between the children and their learning bots is quite important in the play, but also it's where things go wrong. One of the children, Jerry, doesn't have a learning bot, so he tries to make one for himself, and in doing so, he mixes some bee DNA into the robot, and it doesn't behave like a normal robot. Things go a little bit weird. So the learning bots and the children are both really important players in this story, so when it came to coming up with the album art for my album, I wanted to show that. The play is also a really interesting exploration of artificial intelligence, and I thought it would be fitting if I used an artificial intelligence to generate the artwork for my album. So that's what I did. Let's take a look. Here we are in the DALL-E interface, which I've discussed on the channel before. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to see me talk a little bit more about DALL-E and how it works. But basically, I took DALL-E and I gave it this prompt: a child with their learning bot, digital art. And things don't look that great. The color scheme here is a little bit off, and I don't really like any of these robot designs, so I didn't really want to go with this one. So then I decided to go with a different prompt, and this is where things started to get a little bit more interesting. This new prompt is a hippie child with their learning bot searching for a soul, digital art. Because one of the things that happens in the story is the learning bot that Jerry creates, whose name is Neutron, tries to find a soul, or at least tries to find out what a soul is, or if there's a way to measure it and maybe create it for his fellow robots. So finding a soul is pretty important. And here I got some pretty curious pictures, but not quite what I was looking for. I then did a similar generation for a child in a baggy jumper with their robot searching for a soul, because Jerry had a beautiful baggy jumper costume in the play, so I wanted to see if I could get something similar to that. These artworks are really starting to get into something interesting, and certainly something like this one I would definitely use as an album cover, but it doesn't quite capture the style of the robots from the play, so I tried a few more. For this one here, I tried adding 3D printed as an adjective for the robot, because that's how Jerry makes his robot in the play. He tries to 3D print it. And these are also not so great, so I tried again with something else. That's the great thing about DALL-E, is that if you don't like what you come up with, you can always just try something again and create a whole bunch of new artworks. So I tried to go a different route. Instead of a child and a robot, I wanted just the robot, and I had a robot lying in a flower bed. Because Neutron, the robot that Jerry creates, has his DNA mixed up with bees, he really likes smelling flowers, and that was a really funny moment in the play, is when this robot just needs to smell flowers. He has this deep impulse to smell and observe flowers. So I thought it would be funny to get a robot lying in a flower bed, and I got these, which look cool, but are more photoreal, and that's not really what I wanted. I wanted something that was digital art, so this one was not it. This is where we started to get into what I was looking for, and all I had to do to get this was to add digital art. This was kind of the track that I wanted, so I tried again with a similar prompt, but said a humanoid robot lying in a flower bed, just to make the robot very clearly humanoid shaped, because they were played by human children in the play. And these started to get quite uncanny. They look a bit weird and far too humanoid for me. So I did not like this one. I tried again. Robot child lying in a flower bed, digital art. For this one, because the learning bots were played by children, they kind of looked like child robots. So with this one, I specified that the robot was a child, and this one looks pretty good. There's a lot more character and childlike appearance to these robots, but still not quite what I was looking for. This one here, a robot child smelling flowers, digital art, and now I started to get into some really cool things. This one here was one that I wanted to use for quite a while. This was the stand-in artwork for quite a while until I tried some new things, which we'll see in a second. This is great. And so are these other ones as well. This one is amazing. So this is getting a little bit more of Neutron smelling the flowers, but still not quite what I was looking for. This, again, is similar to what I wanted and starting to get some brighter colors, which I really liked, but it still wasn't quite right. So I took things in a new direction. And what I specified next was that I wanted it to be a young robot and a bee, because Neutron is very much like a bee. I thought the idea of maybe having a robot and a bee together would look cool, but these are just downright creepy. I do not like these at all. And again, I forgot to specify digital art, so the style is all over the place. This one here, I got a young robot and a bee in a field of flowers digital art, and I started to get some amazing artwork. This one is beautiful. This one here is beautiful and lots of bright colors and a little bee here. It looks great. This one here I love so much because the robot looks kind of like a bee with little antennae and this little eye and the bee-like colors. So this is the artwork that I eventually used for the reverse side of the CD pressing. And this one here looks pretty cool, but it's a bit dinky. So I really liked these photos, especially this one here is the one that I wanted to use, but it just wasn't quite bright enough, wasn't quite colorful enough. So I tried again. And I went off of this one here. So in the previous example, there was this picture here, which I quite liked. I liked the bee. So I decided to get it to make other versions of this same photo. And none of these were quite right. I liked this one the best. And the variations that it generated from this original one were pretty good, but still not quite what I was looking for. So I tried one more time, and this is what I got. A young robot with a bee on its nose lying in a field of flowers digital art. And this one immediately stood out to me. A fantastic robot design, clearly humanoid, but clearly robotic. The robot kind of has an eye similar to a bee. The flowers are so yellow and bright, and it makes the overall palette of the album cover so bright and colorful. This was the one I ended up going with for the album cover. I just love it. And this now is the face of my album, entirely created by an artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence creating the album art for a soundtrack of a play about artificial intelligence. It's perfect. So that was how I used the artificial intelligence DALL-E 2 to make the album art for my upcoming album, Soul Trading. If you're interested in learning a bit more about DALL-E and seeing me use it to make variations on my old album covers, you can check out the video linked in the description below. It's a lot of fun. And if you're interested in the Soul Trading album, the good news is it comes out on December 1st. You can stream it on Spotify, Apple Music, and any other platform of your choice on December 1st. And if you really think you're going to like it, you can pre-order it on Bandcamp. If you do pre-order it on Bandcamp, you get all kinds of bonus goodies, like 3 bonus tracks, some sound design from the play, and a bunch of downloads of the alternative artworks from DALL-E that I didn't end up using. You also get sheet music for some of the music in the album, and you support me in my music making, which is really nice of you. So thank you if you decide to pre-order the album. That's all for this video, but if you liked what you saw, consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video, and leaving a comment down below. Thanks, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.